Hi. So in Module 3, chapters 4 and 6 talked about education and funding, how teacher pay affects students and puts them at risk, as well as school dropout. And so the social problem that I identified is that domino effect that we are currently facing in the school systems. So with COVID, obviously every student had to learn virtually, and a lot of parents kind of just became fed up with it and basically took their children out of public school and decided to homeschool them. And so there's this big uproar when parents do that, because with the students, the money follows the student. And so when a student is taken out of the school system, then the money allotted for that child goes with them. So then there's less money for teachers and support staff. And so then you have to do faculty cuts. And then there's also the problem of teachers being underpaid, and therefore they're burnout and they're overworked, so they're leaving the workforce. And so when they do that, then students are left sometimes mid-school year without teachers, and that just puts them in a really difficult spot, because then students are having to learn how to be around a new teacher. They're having to learn to trust a new teacher. The new teacher has no idea where the other teacher probably left off. And so then after Christmas break, when I guess some teachers would leave, then you have the new teacher coming in and they're having to prep the students for end of the year testing. And so a lot of students, they just fall behind. And with current school policies or educational policies that are in place through lawmakers, a lot of teachers just have to teach the material that is going to be at the end of the year test. And so a lot of students fall even further behind because they're just learning for a test rather than actually learning to retain the knowledge. And so this creates a problem, because as students are passed along from grade to grade and they fall further behind, then you pose the risk of school dropout, combined with lack of teachers, especially support staff. Then once a student reaches that I don't care phase anymore and they're of age to drop out, then they are more likely to do so. And with the lack of teachers, then there's kind of just nobody there to stop them. And one thing that I'll say personally, I support school choice. I just think that there needs to be more resources in place, that if students want to go from public school to charter school, or public school to private school, or public school to Christian school, or wherever it is they want to go, that there are still enough resources left so that the teachers in public schools and their classrooms are not impacted. And so as a social worker, I think the best solution would be that social workers and educators should be the ones that are making laws, because they know what is best for students and for teachers. I also think there should be more social workers available to try to help fill those voids, not in the teacher aspect, but when it comes to students who are at risk of dropping out. There definitely needs to be social workers involved to try to prevent that, and maybe offer the extra support that a student is not receiving that is causing them to want to drop out. And with a policy thing, I think there should most definitely be social workers that help make laws about funding and the requirements that students have to meet to be able to go on to the next grade, because a lot of lawmakers really just don't know how it is, especially school social workers who work in that environment. They see the needs and they hear the teachers' needs, and so they're ultimately better advocates for the students and for the schools. And in doing so, I feel like that would just kind of put a pause in the domino effect of fewer teachers, meaning bigger class sizes, meaning students are at risk of dropping out. Also, being underpaid means that teachers are leaving. which then creates bigger classroom sizes and at risk of dropping out, and just the whole domino effect. So I definitely think social workers should have more of a say in what goes on with, funding laws and policy laws when it comes to students, so that we can try to help bridge that at-risk gap.